Coming up on the Together for Good podcast, I'm talking with Stephanie Davy about why she continues to participate in a faith community. She grew up here at Bethany, continues to go and raise her boys here, but I want to dig into that about the why she sticks around. Can't wait. Here we go. Welcome to the Together for Good podcast, a podcast created by Bethany Lutheran Church in Cherry Hills Village, Colorado, and hosted by me, Pastor Nate Preisinger. On Together for Good, our goal is to provide practical, engaging content that supports you without expectations. Whether you're feeling disconnected from traditional religion or simply exploring what faith means in your life, we're here to walk alongside you. No matter where you are on your journey of faith, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Together for Good. Okay, Stephanie Davy, welcome to the Bethany Podcast Studio.
Thank you.
You have not been here before.
I have not been in this room before.
Ever?
No.
And you have been a member at Bethany how long?
47 years.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, I when you opened the closet, I was like, what?
Yeah, it used to be a closet. It used to be an office. And now here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, good use. Okay. And so, yeah, you grew up here at Bethany. You were baptized.
I did. I was baptized at Bethany. So my parents became members before I was born.
Yep.
I think my mom was doing like a YMCA class here or something. The old building, the old church.
Right, before that burned down.
Before it burned down. And so they were looking for a faith community. And I think it was Pastor Schroeder who...
I haven't even heard that name.
Yeah, who maybe came in and, talked to them. And so they ended up joining Bethany. I was baptized at Bethany. My sisters were two.
Wow.
My two older sisters. And then, just from there.
Growing up here, and this just being a really big part of your family's identity, DNA, regular practice. Were you kind of the family that was here all the time and did all of the things?
Yes, we were here all the time. If you ask some other members who have been here for a really long time, because I have three sisters, it was like, there's the Houchins girls sitting with their hair in braids and like curls. I mean, we always looked like the
dressed
picture.
Up to go to
church. Yes. Without knowing about the stress that came to getting to church. But it was a big deal for us. My parents, even when we got older, we were getting up on Sunday mornings, in high school and coming to church.
And was that the expectation?
It was the expectation.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, we could skip every once in a while. It wasn't this I don't remember it being a battle. It just was.
This is just what our family does.
This is what our family does, yeah. And, something that I remember happening in high school, I went to a private high school here in Denver, and I was in a class my senior year, and our teacher asked us, we must have been talking about religion, ethics or something, how many of us actively participated in a faith community? And myself and one other person raised their hands.
No way.
It was,
and this was years ago.
So like in the 90s. Uh-huh. The 90s. So, the class wasn't big, 13 kids, but 2 of 13 who actively participated. And so that was just what our family did. We were always in the second pew. My mom thought...
Wait, the same pew you still sit in?
Same pew we still sit in, yep. My mom thought if the kids can see what's going on, they'll pay attention. Mm-hmm. If you're in the back of the church and the kids can't see and they can't, whatever. No, that was just my mom's.
Sure.
We had the one bulletin, that the kids' children's bulletin, and if we did not behave, we got the death stare in church.
Excellent. Very effective.
Yep. And so we just, it just was. We all participated in middle and high school confirmation. Our middle and high school youth group went through confirmation here. I went to Lake Powell with confirmation, did 2 or 3 mission trips. We started going down to New Mexico and Arizona on the Indian reservations. That was when I was in high school. And they were just fantastic opportunities. I think I've told you this before. I think church friends are like honeymoon friends. They're they don't know your background or what's going on at school. Uh-huh. And you get to come to church and be with these people who just know you for these few hours, and you can kind of be who you are, or maybe who you want to be. Julie Miller was in my high school youth group.
Wow.
And Scott. And I mean, like, we have context for stuff that was so long ago, but we weren't friends outside of high school or outside of youth group because
Right.
we weren't at the same high school. But it just was like this really kind of safe, nice place to go, and learn about ourselves, learn about our faith.
Yeah. And
Be active in our faith.
do you remember any of you or your sisters ever questioning this family commitment?
No,
Fascinating. It was just what you do.
it was just what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving on from that too,
Yeah.
it like stuck with each of you in their own unique ways. And I want to
Yeah.
ask you to speak for your sisters
Yeah.
who aren't here. I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting that it got into the core, it seems like, of who each of you
Yeah.
ended up being.
Yeah. I think my parents really believed that, you know, and I don't know if the movement is still there. There was probably a big movement when my parents were parenting, like, oh, we'll let the kids decide.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think my parents really thought, like, if you don't show them this option and give them this option, how are they ever going to decide about it?
Yeah.
And it couldn't just be showing up once or twice,
Right.
because then you don't get the real feel and the real benefit, maybe what they saw from it. It was like, we're making this choice. We're the parents.
The really
In
cynical side of me
growing
too.
up.
It
Yeah.
says that we never do that with other areas of the kids.
Never.
Like, I never let my kids decide what to eat because
No.
they would just eat candy.
Right. Never.
It's like, that's not good for you.
Never. Or like when to go to bed.
Right,
Or
right.
what to watch on TV. Never.
Yeah.
No. So it was really this, this is what we're going to do. Now, we all ended up at Lutheran colleges.
Yeah.
That was more happenstance than any sort of requirement. My oldest sister landed at Wartburg. We had a pastor at that time, Mark Olson, whose wife was very involved in Wartburg West. And which was a big program. And so, long story short.
A big Denver-based
Yes,
program.
Denver-based program, yes. So that is where Becky ended up, my oldest sister, and then Jennifer ended up at Gustavus Adolphus. I was very involved in music here at Bethany and also at school. And my mom thought St. Olaf was going to be the best place for me, and I was determined it was not going to be the best place for me. And she ended up being right. And then my younger sister went to Wittenberg. I think that it would just felt like really good to my parents. They weren't not supportive of other schools.
Sure.
But
I mean, in talking with your dad, I know it's a source of pride for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like that it's a neat little fact
Right.
about all four of you.
yeah, so
And they're great school. That's the thing too, is individually, they're all really good schools that you would be proud to send your kid to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at St. Olaf, I took a class, a J-term class called Catholic Rome Lutheran Wittenberg. So during the month of January, I spent 2 weeks in Rome studying Catholicism and 2 weeks in Wittenberg studying Lutheranism.
No way.
It was the coolest
They
class.
did not offer that class when I went there. That's amazing.
It was so cool. I mean, just the things that I learned about the history of Christianity and then the Reformation. It was just so great. And I was like, yeah, I really actually believe in these things that I have been, that have been presented to me as I was growing up. So,
But that wasn't until college.
that wasn't until college. And I mean, like, I was in a choir in college and I only went to church when our choir sang.
Sure.
I was not getting up on Sunday mornings to go to chapel. So it's not like I was, like first in line at chapel. I just, but I felt very like grounded at St. Olaf.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we had to take a Faith of the Worlds class or something like that. So it wasn't like we only had to take Lutheran classes,
But that experience more reinforced what you had kind of experienced your whole growing up here in Denver.
Yeah.
But what's interesting too is what I also hear in that is that you don't feel like you really solidified this understanding of it being important to you as an individual until college.
Yeah. And probably even after. Like, I thought that was really great class. It did not get me to church every Sunday after that. That was my sophomore year. And then when I graduated, I moved back to Denver, lived at home for a short time, and then moved out. But I was a singer. And Kathy Eggleston, who was our organist at that time, director of music, she had been really influential in me continuing to be in music when I was little. She put me on that green box with a microphone on Christmas Eve, and I sang a solo when I was 8 years old.
No way.
Like, she was very instrumental. I went to California with the bell choir and Julie Miller.
No way.
We drove out there. We played bells at Disneyland. Yep. So just my music, Lieta Choi was our choir director. Like, I just remember really being involved in music here. And so when I graduated, Kathy was like, you need to come join the choir.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm 22 years old. I'm not joining the church choir.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And about a year after I graduated, myself and Lindsay Whitaker Aquilina, who was one of my roommates in college, and she was from Denver. We were living together, and she and I were like, okay, we'll go join the church choir. We were like 23 years old.
Was Lindsay here at Bethany yet at that point?
Her family had
but you didn't grow up with her.
We did not grow up together.
Yeah, because they were at a different church.
They were at a different church, yeah. So their family, I think, transitioned to Bethany when we were in college.
Okay, funny.
So, yeah.
Wow, what a small world.
I know.
And so then, you had a partner in crime, so that helped.
Yes.
Yes. 2 22-year-olds can join the church choir, not one.
Yes. Yes.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So,
But then have you kind of been here ever since?
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the hook that got me, was the singing, because I knew I loved it. And, I didn't want to not be a part of a choir.
Right. And it's a through line.
Yeah.
In your whole, right. Like you came because your parents made you, but also you received this type of leadership development, you know, and an embracing of your gifts as young as 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then that also is why your mom put St. Olaf on your radar, why you end up there.
Yep.
What choir were you in? Go ahead.
I was in chapel choir.
Chapel choir. You've told me that before. Yeah. And so one of the big choirs there on campus, singing a lot.
Yep.
And then that's eventually what gets you back here at Bethany.
Yep.
Hilarious. I think it's really interesting how that's often a part of people's story, is that it's not typically like the very core faith, like I needed a place to worship every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's some sort of auxiliary reason that relates to it, but that isn't what most people might assume is why people end up going to church all the time.
Yeah, right.
So then talk to me about, you and Adam are both really involved here, your husband Adam, and have really made the decision to, raise your boys here.
Yeah.
And have them committed, and they are, voluntold into a lot of circumstances.
They are absolutely voluntold. I mean, I'll be like, you're ushering, or you are serving communion on Christmas Eve. And they're like, what? And I just say, yeah.
And so
that's what's going on.
So you're carrying forward the tradition of your parents.
Yeah.
This is just who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And I get the sense that they don't push back on this a lot.
No.
Yeah. But what makes you want to insist upon that now that you get to make the decision?
Yeah. I think as an adult, I have seen people searching for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think that there is truth to the notion that there is a God-sized hole in our hearts. And I have heard on podcasts and things like that, people, I'm doing all this work on myself, and I'm looking, and I keep looking for this. And I just want to say, go to church. That's what's missing. That's what will fill the hole in your heart.
Right.
So I think that I just feel that. I feel it when I'm at church and I worship. I had some hard things with, like, say, a hard parenting moment or some hard things with my kids. And I was like, I don't know what else I can do except for pray.
Yeah.
Except for teach them to pray. Some things just aren't solvable right away. And I really did feel like if they don't know, how can they ever make the decision? And I don't know that if you, I think that the decision becomes more like if it's a habit, it becomes less of a, like for them, it became less of a have to.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids are teenagers. They're not like excited to wake up in the morning on Sunday.
Right.
But even they'll say like, we haven't been to church in a couple weeks, like this summer when we had some stuff. Well, what's going on? And I just feel like the groundedness that the church, that faith can give is a step beyond what I can give. I can't give them everything.
Yeah.
Adam and I can't give them everything. There is a God-sized hole in them that only God can fill.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that and explore it. And I mean, it would be devastating to me if they, as adults, decided that this was not real.
Yeah. Because
I think that it's so core to how, I don't know, just so core to my life.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's like such a part of your upbringing and your identity and your sense of family and now what you're trying to pass on. I resonate with that really strongly. And it's a lot of, it's similar. I tell my kids that a lot of the time too. It's like, I just want you to know that there's something bigger than the current moment, you know, than this current struggle, that you have something to rely on and hold on to when things are really difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that. And I'm with you too. I also know that oftentimes if you try and like smother this into the child, like whatever you demand of the child often is they'll do the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't hear that as what you're doing. But it's part of where I'm like trying to nuance it too. It's like, you know, they know I'm a pastor, obviously, and they roll their eyes when I bring up God.
Yeah.
And I don't try and yell at them for that.
Yeah.
But I just like allow it to happen. Like, okay, and let me tell you why I think this is significant.
Yeah.
And I too would be devastated if they choose not to have this as a part of their life.
I was listening to a podcast recently where a very famous podcaster was talking about religion, and the question was posed to him, are you a person of faith? And he said, no, but I wish I was.
Wow.
And I was like,
yeah.
That is so interesting to me. He just was like what I see people get from faith, from a relationship with a God or a higher being is beyond what
the world can offer.
Beyond what the world can offer. And I mean, I wanted to be like, it's not too late, but I don't know if the cynicism fills that hole in the heart if you're not introduced. No, now, of course, people come to God at all times in life, and, you don't have to be a child to come to God. I think it's like any habit that if you do come by it when you're a child, maybe that childlike wonder and belief is just a little bit of an extra nugget that like, the things that you believed in childhood are like sort of special.
Yeah.
In a way that maybe the things that you come to believe in adulthood aren't. I don't know.
Interesting. I never thought about it like that. But there's an element to that.
Yeah.
Of the magic of Christmas Eve or whatever. Right. But how and a lot of these things overlap with faith in that sense too. I mean, my kids will say that. They'll say, like we love Christmas Eve. And when we all get to hold the candles in church and it's just really special. Like, it is. Yeah. And that's kind of pointing to this bigger part that we can't understand. And that's right. Like the childlike wonder is a core component of faith, I think. Yeah. Because it connects you with, wow, there's this big wide world out there that I can't understand. And there's a loving creator that I can't fully understand, but is there and I appreciate it. Yeah. But I don't totally get it. Yeah. Yeah. And we lose that wonder. Yeah. The cynicism sets in as everything has an answer and an explanation
Yeah.
and a logical conclusion.
Yeah. I think that as I look back on hard things that happened in my life, specifically we had one of our best girlfriends passed away while we were in college. Mm-hmm. She died of cancer, and she died our junior year, and our freshman year, all of us were put in the same corridor of the same dorm, and we became instant fast friends. She wasn't sick. We had no idea. And, this is one of those things where I don't know how and why God works the way God works. But I have no doubt that we were put in that corridor together, so that we could support each other, support her family, when that tragedy occurred. And they are my very best friends to this day. I'm going to Boston on Friday to meet them.
No way. Oh, neat.
Yep. And, but I think that sometimes the question is, where's God? Where is God in this? And I have really come to believe that the answer to that is, where does God show up in other people? Was it the friend who called at just the right time? Was it the people who brought you the meal? Was it that God shows up in a lot of ways, and God has put people on earth to support you if you will open your eyes and look at it. Right.
And what a better way, I don't know, going back to the podcaster you mentioned, right? Mm-hmm. Who says I wish I was.
Yeah.
Because it's also, I think it's a much more beautiful way of looking at reality, rather than it just being what a funny coincidence that we all ended up on the same corridor, as opposed to no.
Yeah.
There is a loving creator out there that knew we would need to care for each other.
Yeah.
And that's why this was set up that way.
Yeah. And I want my kids to know that. We talked a lot about that when my mom was sick. She had a form of dementia, and, it got worse, progressively worse, as dementia does. And, God for her was her grandchildren showing up. Mm-hmm. They just gave her so much joy, even to the end.
Yeah.
And that was God showing up for her, and just seeing the joy. And I think then, we talked a lot about why this was happening with my kids, and there's no answer for that. Why is it happening? How do we deal with it? Well, we trust in the fact that she's gonna go to a much better place.
Yeah.
The body breaks down. It's not forever, but the God is forever. And we prayed a lot and talked a lot about that. And I was so glad that I had something to give my children during that time, because I don't know how I would have answered those questions without my faith and without their faith.
Yeah.
In that, it would have been so much. I mean, it was hard as it was.
Right.
It would have been so much harder.
I completely resonate with that. When I came back from when my mom passed and was talking to my kids about it, we had a really poignant conversation in the car, the four of us. I forgot, I was driving them home from school or something, and I was just saying listen, I really want you to have this faith, because let me just tell you, these are the ways that it got me through. And it was just, it was I said these prayers, I sang these songs, and it gave me something to do with the grief and the terribleness of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
had somewhere to go, and it wasn't perfect. It didn't fix everything.
No.
My mom still passed away.
No.
And it was comfort, and it was hope.
Yeah.
In the midst of a terrible situation.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right. So Stephanie, to bring it all back around, if you had to put it poignantly, succinctly, that's the word I want to say. Why are you still here? Why do you still go to church?
I mean, it just fills me with peace and hope, and sometimes action. I think in a way that nothing else does. I don't know what else could.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. And maybe that's the thing, is that faith is really, for me, is something that I still have that childlike wonder about. Like, I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I know it's there. I know that God is there. I know what I believe. I can't explain the whys and the hows, nor are we expected to.
Yeah.
But it just fills me. It fills that God-sized hole. I'm so glad that I'm filled with it. Yeah. Because, man, I think it would be real tough otherwise to live without it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And thanks for, you and Adam and your boy, like all you do for this place is so appreciated. And thanks for sharing so much of your story in this way here today. And you, dear listener, thanks for listening. If you have comments, feel free to reach out to me or to Stephanie. But thank you for listening and watching. Share this with a family or friend. And as always, stay in peace. Thank you for listening to the Together for Good podcast. If you'd like more resources for your walk of faith, please visit our website, bethany-denver.org, or download our mobile app by searching Bethany Connect in your phone's app store.